MPL Indonesia Season 3. Today's matchup. The Prime is first Bigetron Game League. Alter Ego first SFI Critical. Aura first Saint Indo. Louvre Esports versus Alter Ego. PSG.RRQ versus Onic Esports.
Good morning and welcome back to MPL ID Season 3, a new history with me, Audai, and my co-caster
Wolfie here.
Wolfie. So, how are you?
I'm doing fine as always, and I'm excited for today's matches.
Yeah, and this is week 5, day 1 of MPL ID Season 3, brought to you by our official Legends sponsor, which is Bukalapak. You can get discounted diamonds with a lot of cashback from bukalapak.com, and you can also get a lot of premium skins coming from Bukalapak when you top up your diamonds there. So back to this game, we have a matchup between the Prime versus Bigetron Esports, where both of the teams are on the bottom 4 position of the league right now, and the Prime Esports, they have to suffer losses against EVOS Esports, but the thing is that they get a point from EVOS Esports, which is currently number 4. So here it is, the Prime Esports team. So here it is, the Prime Esports team. Prime Esports. They're coming out soon. Yes, here it is, the member of the Prime Esports. We have they are the teams that beat EVOS last week.
Yes,
so
indeed.
yeah, they beat them 2 against 1.
Yes, 2 against 1, and EVOS did have a very bad week. But after they lost against the Prime, they did win 1 game against Onic, which was a very precious point for them. But the Prime themselves, even though they're on the bottom of the table, they've been playing really well, and they do give strong showings against strong teams as well.
Yeah, I mean, their strategy in previous week is working. Whatever they did, and they tend to play like more aggressive in the early game. As you see that they're tend to like picking heroes like Secure, like Kimis and others, to play very aggressive in the early game. So we're going to see Bigetron Esports team. Here it is, Bigetron Esports coming to the stage. Team of Bigetron Esports, Robots. We have Dreams, Bravo, Finn, Lynx, Bruns, and Sorrel as the substitutes. And they are currently going to face the Prime Esports today. I think if they win this, they have. I think they can secure the top 8 position.
Yes, I think if it's a 2-0 clean win, they might be able to take the top 8 just barely. And they do have been playing really well last week, especially with their new Saber and Grub combo, and also Bravo on his marksman is always really well.
Yeah, and if whoever win this game will be to the top 8 region, and they have like more secure positions to the playoff. But especially for Bigetron Esports, they really need this full points so bad, because they currently only play 6 times, and the Prime Esports has played 7 times. So that means that if Bigetron Esports could, finish this game 2-0, they get a full 3 points, and that makes their points into 9 points. If we just 9 points, will be on the top of PSG.RRQ, who is currently ranking 7th.
Yes, and RRQ has been on a slump lately, especially after their roster change. They haven't been playing really well. And this is a really good chance for Bigetron to actually go into top 8, break into top 8, and try and secure themselves a spot in the playoff.
Yeah, and the Prime Esports as well. So this is going to be a very exciting match. Both of the teams are going to show their full potential, their full power to go up from the quote-unquote relegation zone.
Yes, and we know the Prime Esports, they do play a really late game composition usually. Although they have transitioned to a more early game style, they do add more early game heroes to their picks instead of just going full late game. And Bigetron, they did pull out really strong picks last week. We've seen the Saber and Grok coming out. We also seen Bravo on getting his marksman actually, which was really nice as well. So it'll be quite interesting on how these two teams will duke it out, especially with them having like early game and late game compositions that are very strong.
Yeah, so there is gonna be we're gonna see the standings of MPL ID Season 3 in Week 5, Day 1. You see the first is Onic Esports, followed by SFI, Arrow, Proxy, and EVOS Esports. Those 4 will be securing upper brackets later if they are proceeding, skipping these positions. And Alter Ego, Louvre, PSG.RRQ, as well as Star Esports is on the middle 12 of the standings, and our Bigetron, the Prime Esports, and Sense Indo is currently on the bottom 4, which is Sense Indo only got a point.
Yes, they only took
this
one
season.
game. And for Bigetron themselves, if they win today, as you said, they get 9 points, and they can already pass Star 8 and almost pass PSG.RRQ if PSG.RRQ doesn't win the game.
Yeah, and so I think there's still a lot of chances for our Bigetron as well as the Prime Esports for you know, get out of the bottom 4 and start getting it a lot of points coming in. So I think what do you think is the Prime Esports is going to use strategic and Bigetron Esports? Will they ban a lot of marksmen, knowing that Bigetron Esports is doing very well with marksman meta?
It depends actually. We've seen teams actually just open marksman, just use full day, early game compositions. We've seen Maeve transition from his Claude into a more Leo Mort style. We've seen him on Hayabusa as well. And it has been really well last week against EVOS. They won 2-1 against EVOS, which was really good for them because they do need a lot of points right now. And I think they will start to play more early game composition.
Yeah. And how about the Bigetron Esports? Are they going to like stick to their you know,
marksman?
Yeah, their very own moment. So we're going to see, before that, we're going to see the player highlight of both of the teams. So this is going to be the player highlight of both of the teams. We see this is going to be head-to-head between Luminaire as well as Bravo. Luminaire is tend to play a more fighter styles using his Leo Mort.
Although we have seen him on Hayabusa as well, which is really good. And for Bravo, there's no questioning his Claude. It's very strong.
Yeah, but if you see like the KDA of those players, they both are core heroes, but we can see here Bravo plays more, you know, more slow with only like 44 kills against 50 kills coming from Leomort, but he plays safer. He feels more safe, like 35 death only. But the gold, you see, he get Bravo really is a well farmed.
Yes, he always farms really safe. He just waits until mid game with his marksman, and he does a lot of damage, especially with Claude able to pull out his blazing duet in team fights. Just deals a massive damage in team fights.
Yeah, so if we see like the kill score of Bravo going in, so I think the strategy is going to be, you know, play a late game until like minute 9, until minute 10, above 10 maybe, and they're going to finish a clash, and then once they finish the clash, they're going to wipe out, or maybe like 3 deaths, 4 deaths, and then they're going straight to the end of the game.
I mean, it's a pretty classic marksman composition.
Yeah.
You just wait until mid game, late game, then you suddenly make a huge fight and try to end the game as fast as possible in the late game. But knowing the Prime, they do play more early style as of now, because they've played Leo Mort and also Hayabusa in the side lane. And that can actually mess up Bigetron's late game composition really hard.
So are we going to see another like marksman Balearic combinations in Bigetron?
We might see it because we know that Bigetron is one of the teams that use a lot of Balearic and Claude, so we might see them use it as well.
Yes, there is team interview coming in between the Prime Esports and Bigetron Esports. Here we go.
BTR sih mereka tim bagus juga sih, walaupun mereka dari LoL ya basicnya, cuma kan jago sih mereka, gue tahu, dan mereka juga top global. Ada FL nama gue juga, dia menurut gue nggak bisa diremehin banget sih. BTR kayak kuda hitam juga menurut gue.
Semua tim sih kuat sih, cuman kalau buat The Prime kayaknya kita masih bisa ngimbangin gameplay dia lah buat tim pack nanti. Nggak disangka sih kalau bisa menang lawan EVOS, karena kita lebih pede ke The Prime juga, kita lebih kuat, tim kita lebih kuat dari The Prime.
BTR 8 mungkin, bagus kok.
7 mungkin. Clover, ya karena dia ujung tombaknya dari The Prime sendiri sih.
Semua bagus menurut gua, jadi semualah mungkin semua. 50-50 lah, namanya game bulat. Lu nggak bisa pastiin gua bakal menang, nggak ada yang tahu.
100%. Ya siap-siap aja, ketemu kita nanti bakal kita kasih poin penuh lah buat kita.
Hati-hati, ular gigit.
Yeah, so Bigetron has a full confidence to win this match against the Prime.
Yes, we've seen them say they're 100% confident that they will win this game. Although the Prime, even after they beat EVOS, they seem very, very humble. They stick to their plan and they're still looking to a 50-50 game.
Yeah, I think they want to jinx it.
Yes, because
You know.
they did play really well against EVOS. They didn't want to jinx it. They didn't want to slack off on this game against Bigetron because it's a very important game for both of these teams. If they can get a full point, they have a chance to compete for top 8.
Yeah, and I've heard that Bigetron said that they're going to take a full point against the Prime Esports, so which means that they are going to execute a strategy for to finish the game with only 2 match.
Yes, so maybe they'll play a more dominant early game because we've seen Bravo actually try playing fighters lately because his marksman is always banned out or picked out. So maybe they'll go for an early game, just try to dominate the early game and finish the game as fast as possible.
Yeah, and so Bigetron Esports with the coach here, they feel more relaxed against last weeks. They are more relaxed right now, and the Prime also have a coach right now.
Yes, indeed. And I think both teams with their coaches, they seem more calm. They know their strategy really well. And for the Prime, they do rely a lot on Clover carrying the game. So Bigetron might want to try and shut him down.
Yeah, and do you think because of this is like week 5 of MPL, this is currently a halfway season through, and then do you think that is it because like the teams has already found their ultimate gameplay, their true self?
I don't really know yet because Bravo, we've seen him a lot of marksman in the early season. He tried to transition to fighters, but it didn't really work out really well. And he transitions back to marksman. But I think right now in the meta, you have to be able to play a fighter. Because the early game meta right now is so strong, marksman does take a long time to get their items. So I think all players on the side lane need to be able to play fighters.
So, and do you think that Leomord is going to be the key for the Prime Esports? Because we've known that Luminaire is doing a very good with Leomord, and because of his Leomord, they won against EVOS Esports last week.
Yes, and as well for Bigetron, we've seen Sora play a lot of Leomord. We've seen him actually be a beast on Leomord in the mid game, just 3v1ing and winning the fights. So maybe Leomord will be a key hero for both teams. Like whoever picks Leomord first, they have a huge additional bonus to their composition because both of them play a lot of Leomord.
So do you think that Leomord is going to be like first pick? Is it possible? I think because first pick is going to be, usually first pick is either Grok, Cho, or the overpowered pick like
Harriet,
Kimi, Harriet, and Lunox.
I don't think Leomord will be first pick because there are so many strong picks right now, and Leomord himself can be countered by Tamas. We have seen him being countered by Tamas really hard in the early game, so I don't think Leomord will be first pick, but maybe second pick. in the first rotation, but like second pick.
Yeah, so I think if you mention that right now, if you mention that, that means the team who have a second pick, which is picking 2 heroes during the first phase, I think have the advantage right now to secure Leomord right now.
If they do really want to prioritize Leomord, because on second pick, usually they pick like Kaya. We can see them also pick maybe Kimi and another tank like Akai. So maybe Leomord maybe will be picked by the blue side first on the second rotation. Just to finish their first rotation composition.
Yes, and okay, we're going to get to the game really soon. But before that, I would like to know the differences about to highlight the differences. To get to know more differences about both of these two teams' differences in gameplay. So we've seen that the Prime Esports earlier recently going to go with a aggressive strategy, and Bigetron's going to have a very dominant style in the late game, but giving up on the early game. I mean, I think the Prime Esports have a very early gameplay. What do you think the Bigetron Esports chances to win?
I think they have to try to play early game, like a more early game-ish composition.
Okay, so yeah, the Prime Esports are already banning Lunox here.
Yes, they're still opening Kimi, also Grok, so we might see them actually try and secure it. But usually on red side, when you see the blue side not banning the OP heroes, you want to open up a lot as well. Just make sure you get one OP hero, like a trade-off.
Yeah, but like they're banning Lunox already, so
yeah.
I think the Prime Esports want to secure Grok
Your
here.
team
And
is
Grok will be banned by BTR, most likely.
Or well, usually Grok got banned. So if Grok got banned, what's alternative for the Prime Esports?
I think they can pick Cho because they do play a lot of Cho.
Your
I don't
team
think
is
they'll pick
picking.
first pick Leomord. I think it's gonna be a Cho or maybe a Selena.
Oh,
yeah,
Selena.
Your
Yeah,
team
they're
they're
still
is
open.
picking.
Yeah, very aggressive early from the Prime Esports, just like we talked about, and Bigetron Game tend to play more late.
Yes, maybe they'll pick another Belleric and Claude in their first pick rotation, or maybe a Kaya and maybe another tank, like double tank composition, because we know Dreams plays a lot of Akai when Grok is banned, but Dreams plays a lot of Cho as well, and we can see Tamus here. I think it's just a counter
Your
for
team
Leomord.
is
Like if you want to pick
picking.
Leomord, it's okay. I have my Tamus now. I can counter it. And Kaya is just a very, very strong sub tank.
Yeah, and Cloud is turned out to being picked by the Prime Esports here.
Yes, and Maeve does play a lot of Cloud as well in the early weeks. I think he spammed Cloud for like 2 weeks straight
Your
before
team
actually
is
people
picking.
start banning it or just countering him really hard.
Right, so Bigetron, they only have to maybe think another option because their Cloud is being picked.
Yes.
And for the Prime Esports, maybe Bigetron. Do you think it's supposed to be Bigetron for just go for an no marksman meta, maybe play with a 2 mage or maybe like with an assassins here?
Maybe Carry can be picked as well, but they're looking to lock in the
Your
Nino right
team
now.
is banning.
Do you think Kari is a very good pick here? Because the Prime Esports doesn't have a tank here.
Yeah, and usually Carry is used when you want to destroy tanks in the late game, just melt away their health bars. But right now we can see like 3 squishy heroes aside from Cho from the Prime Esports. So I don't think Carry will be the best pick because he can be assassinated by Selena, by Cho, by Claude. Maybe they'll go for no marksman. Or maybe they just use a mage in the side lane like Kadita. We've seen Kadita used by Lemon a lot.
Yeah, so Hurley being banned by the
Your
Prime
team
Esports.
is banned.
I think they are limiting their options to contest early game. You know, because Harley is very good at the early game
Your
with the Pocket Track
team
and the
is
Team Magic. You
picking.
can like easily kill everyone
Yes.
in the game, especially like Selena, especially with Cloud. It's very easy to beat. And Akai is being banned by Bigetron.
Which leaves only a few tanks available right now for the Prime Esports.
But Belleric is still available.
Belleric is still open for the combo. We can also see Gacha still open. We can see Gushin
Your
right now.
team is
Pick for
picking.
bronze.
So discussion may be going to be the key for Bigetron. If discussion can,
Your team
if
is
Bigetron can still,
picking.
execute the Gushins very well in the early games, it could secure the late game for them as a carry, and the Prime Esports securing Belleric and Leomord already. So even though there is Timus, Leomord still being picked by the Prime Esports.
Yes, I think he's very, very confident in his Leomord. Or maybe they'll try to look for a switch lane. They'll switch the lane, make sure Leomord doesn't meet Tamus in the early game, And let him level up against carry. Wait until mid game before they try to engage back on him.
Yeah, so based on the draft, who do you think will have a more dominance in the game?
I think we'll take a lot out on Selena if she can actually snowball early game. If Selena does not get a lot of kills, it'd be very, very hard for the Prime.
Okay, so here it is. Going to see very, very soon the Prime Esports versus Bigetron Game. Yeah, okay, here it is. The Prime Esports versus Bigetron Game as the opening game of today's MPL ID Season 3. A new history brought to you by Bukalapak as our official Legend sponsors. And so the Selena is going to take the first buff coming in, and they're going to just ignore the lanes.
I think Cho will just get the first wave and then follow up to Selena, because Selena does have a lot of problems trying to wave clear in the early game. So they just give it up and look for the buff.
Okay, so yeah, it's a solo buff going from Selena, pressing the traps. 3 traps here, I believe. That's a very smart coming from Clover. And Luminaire, oh yeah, that's true. Is Tamus is countering Leomord very hard.
Yes, and he has to be very careful, because once Tamus does hit level 2, he has a lot of damage coming in.
Yeah, so Vin is in danger here. Trap 1 flying. And I'm not sure what Bruns want to accomplish here, because I think he needs level very bad.
Yes, he needs level 4 first, because before he can actually try to assassinate someone, so standing at level 3 didn't really give a lot of pressure.
Yes, and yeah, Bruns is coming back to the mid lane here. But there is already Kiki standby quite front in the mid lane.
Yes, and on bottom lane we can see Bravo just farming it out, just looking for some levels before actually trying to fight, because he does need a lot of items and a lot of levels first.
Okay, pressure from gold buff here going Kiki, securing it, and Dreams failed to steal the gold buff, and it goes to Cloud for the Prime Esports.
Yes, indeed. Now we can see Bigetron actually moving towards mid lane, trying to counter Luminaire, who has been wave clearing in the mid lane. And they have to be very wary of Selena, because Selena does a lot of damage in the early game. You can see Kaya almost being bursted, Vin.
Yep, tried to dive, but Finn still able to survive. That's very unfortunate for the Prime Esports. So Turtle is maybe going to their next target, or oh no, they're going to. I think they're not ready yet to take Turtle, because if you realize that Tamus is there, and Tamus is a very strong, plus he's level 4 right now.
Yes, and we can see them now gathering at mid lane. Will this be a fight?
Kiki being solo target by Cloud, but there is Kuyang here going to the rescue, as well as Luminaire with the Burbil. So Bigetron have to backing off a little bit.
Yes, we can see right now Bravo just following to bottom lane again, trying to match Maeve with the wave, because he doesn't want to lose against Maeve in terms of gold and also EXP.
Yeah, and we're still healed. 0-0 kill coming in. Kiki going in from behind. Raider Dragon going into Finn, and Finn is going to die. Yes, he is. First blood get by the Prime Esports.
Yeah, so we can see Kiki just moving very aggressively with this show right now, using the Wave of Dragon so perfectly, catching out Vin, who has been out of position for quite a while just now.
Yeah, and this very confidence coming from Kiki, even though there are 3 heroes of Bigetron there in the mid lane, and Kiki just dive in and rush through the Finn and Wave of Dragon him into the turrets. That's a very well played.
Yes, he knew the exact distance that it will be kicked by Wave of Dragon, and right now we can see Turtle just being secured by the Prime Esports.
And it's coming in Sora, as well as all of 4 of the heroes, but Luminaire is killing everyone. A double kill going by Luminaire, but he is in danger. He's being chased by Sora. Sora, can he do the jump? But he cannot, as the distance is going to be far away. And Maeve in the bottom lane is pushing the turret, and yes, he got the first turret of the game in the bottom lane.
Yes, and this is a disaster for the Prime, for Bigetron right now, because they did lose Turtle, they lost 2 kills as well, and a turret at bottom, and they're letting Maeve just free farm at bottom, while they needed 5 people to actually match the Prime Esports.
Yeah, this is why you really have to be careful about Luminaire's Leomord. He did a lot of damage in the last clash in front of Turtle.
Yes, and we can see Luminaire just destroying everyone with his Phantom Steed. And Sora couldn't do anything against him once he had his horse already on. So right now we can see Bigetron trailing behind the Prime Esports by 2k gold.
Yes, as they're going to siege through the mid lane turrets of Bigetron Game, but I think they really don't want to rush it because Serena is not that kind of play with, you know, just dive into the turrets, push together. So it's more like a pick off heroes, and maybe they really want to pick off the top lane here against Samus. We see. Oh, there is going in a lot of Bigetron heroes going to the bottom lane, trying to take down Maeve, but Finn. Don't even just mean Kuyang, but Finn too tanky. Can he survive the Nether Shield going in? But Bigetron has to back off and just to abort their plans to get Maeve. And Maeve is doing a very good things to use his mirror image to flee.
I think the judgment was misused. They want to catch out Maeve, but instead Maeve uses mirror image to just run out.
Yeah.
And Kuyang was the one who targeted instead. But he's too tanky. He has his ult. He's basically a tank, Beleric. So he couldn't die even though there were 4 people following up.
Yeah, I think that's a like desperate going in. Oh, Finn must use his Gale through, but here's Charles going in. Oh, the Dragon going in. Sora as well. Clover has slain Sora, and Finn in the mid lane can still survive. Or can he? Dreams going in with the Minion Fury. Nether Shield going in. Kiki going to tank out of the Dreams. Dreams is going to back up a little bit and use heal to heal him for a little bit. So Bigetron Game doesn't lose anyone except Sora in the top lane.
Yes, we can see right now Luminaire being very, very strong right now, being a huge presence for his team, especially when he has his ulti up.
Yeah, and the From Esports going to secure their second turtle of the game.
Yes, and we can see Maeve trying to solo kill Bravo right now in the bottom lane, but almost getting him. And I think he has his golden staff soon, so it should be dishing out a lot of damage in a while.
Yeah, there is still Phantom Step coming from Bravo, so and I think there's a flicker also. Bravo, I think he's flickered to
I think he
flee.
used flicker just to flee off. And
oh, Sun got to Brands, but there's a follow-up going in. It's too far away. And Kiki going in from the behind. They want to fry. Oh, they want Brands here as the Gushan. Can Gushan die? Yes, Gushan is dead by Luminaire. And Dreams in the bottom lane, in the mid lane, cannot do anything to prevent this from happening.
Yes, and now he has to follow up to Sora, who has taken a huge chunk out of the turret right now. Can they fight him?
Okay, 2 Jet Kundo got 2, but Kuyang in the top lane, in the front line still can tank the defense, but Luminaire in the top lane killing Sora solo. Oh my god, the damage coming in from Leongmort is huge. Bigetron Game is in pinch right now as they are not free to go anywhere. Now they're defending in the turrets. The 3 people of Bigetron Game with the Dragon going in. Kiki takes a lot of damage from turret and he is dead. Killing slide by the Gushans.
Yes, and we can see Kiki just being too aggressive just now, just walking in the turret without any follow-up from his team because his team was on top side already.
Yeah. And freezing time got by Finn. It means Finn is going to have